alarm, and that is the indication of the red line shown here against the time frame. The positions that you see here, so if we are to look at the proportion of our set points, so this is not there's not a lot you can use these for. The events are pretty uneventful. You get a more detailed view when looking at your COCUS EDS system. Here, this is just an indication of what has actually happened. So you can see that we have the output channel giving us a trying to move the position. So here we can see that we have a failure of the control of the pump. So we have it forced over to full ahead, and that is the fail-safe position. So we know that then the pump is still rotating, but the swash plate is in the full ahead position. So we're getting 100% capacity from that pump. And again, you can see we have a steady set point, and we have estimated pressure matching the set point, and the hydraulic pressure matching the estimated pressure. So again, as a lot of straight lines with a bit of curvature, this is just telling you that the system is doing what it's supposed to do with the set point and the set point pressures and the set point positions. Again, COCUS system is going to give you more detailed view of what the pumps are doing. This is only so you have some sort of indication of what's happening. You can still log manually, 3 buttons for your 3 pumps, and of course you can export to a USB and have a look on the program LDE plot if you feel the need. So if there are no questions to do with the troubleshooting folder or the maintenance folder as a whole, then what we now do is move down to the administration folder or the admin folder. Here we can see that we are able to set the date and time. We have a display time, UTC or local. You can either have UTC and it will be indicated here. You do not need to have chief access to change from UTC time to local, and you do not need to have chief access to adjust the local time against UTC time. You need to have chief access to change the UTC time, as this is what the alarms are logged against in your alarms event log shown in your alarms folder. UTC is UTC. It doesn't change, so therefore once it is set, you leave it as it is, and then you adjust your local time according to the international time zones as you are traveling through them, left to right, right to left on the globe. Pretty straightforward there. The version, this is the software technical file. So you have a technical file for your mechanical components, your mechanical NOx components, and then you also have this version folder for the software, because it has something to do with the adjustments of the combustion chamber. So we can see at the top here we have a ECS, so an ME engine control system, software version 1903. So this is the March month of 2019, and it is 5.20 EGen 3. So this is the newer version for our Triton software. Yours will tell you what it is up here, and then when you press refresh, then you'll get all of the data as you see here. Then you have your group number, IMA number, your engine builder, and the engine number of your specific engine. Then you have the controller ID, you have the controller identification, so what type of controller, and then you have the ArcNet address of that controller. So you can see CCU number 1 is 240, and the system knows it's a CCU type. Then you see here we have the parameter checksums Parameter checksums are to give you the indication of what your system is set up to do. The ones that will change when any adjustment is made for the performance of your engine, any index changes that you make in the folders for your chief limiters, for example, any adjustments made with the combustion in the entirety, there will be some changes shown here because you are adjusting from the CCUs to the ECUs shown here, where you have your IMO chief and IMO design. So you can export the version by saving it to a USB stick, and it saves as a HTML file, so it will look like a screen dump. And here you can export this SPAF file, so a specific parameter file, so what MAN may ask you to do every now and again. If needed. Any questions to do with this? It's pretty straightforward. Yes.
I just have a question. If you need to like back up the whole sets of all the parameters and sum, can we use this version, the export the SPAF, and save it onto a thumb drive or so?
Nope, there is no need to back up. There is a backup already on your MOP computers. But when you press the export SPAF here, what you're doing then is sending it so we can have a look at it MAN to find out what's going on. But there's no need to do this on a regular basis. It is already on the MOP computers for you.
Okay, so if I understand right, when you press the export SPAF, MAN can view all the data and tell us what is wrong and compared to the original data, right?
Not so much compared to the original data. When we export the SPAF file, the parameter file here, what we're able to see is we will find out if what's going on, for example, with injection timing, with the exhaust valve operation, if there is some load parameter is incorrect. We won't say what it should be at the beginning, because when your engine is brand new, 0 point, then throughout the life, as the engine gets older, of course, and the parts change, then of course the changes that you'll make within the control system will also affect. So it wouldn't be a smart idea to compare from old to new, from the new one or from the old one. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem. Cool. So then we have a simple button, but it can get in the way, especially if you have, if you look here at the engine folders, you can see on the MOP screen, if you have larger fingers, then you might actually accidentally press the power off. Pressing the power off button doesn't mean that you switch the MOP computer off straight away. And pressing the yes here doesn't mean you're turning off either. So you have 1, 2, and then the third click here will turn the computer off. So gentlemen, that means that no one can accidentally turn the computer off from here. The buttons on the front of the MOP screen that you saw yesterday, the circle dials there, when you are turning them there, you have to, well, when you're pressing that, you have to hold them in for more than 5 seconds. So again, it's not an accident either. Okay? Good. Then you have the system option here, so you can be in operator level. So anything that is needed for day-to-day running can be done in operator level. You can see, being in operator level, we are not able to touch, to press any of these buttons here. But changing the level to chief access, now I get an indication that I'm chief access down here. Now you can see that I am able to press the buttons shown here and therefore make adjustments. Just because you're a chief doesn't mean, sorry, just because it says chief access doesn't mean you need to be a chief to do so. You just needs to make sure that you know what you're doing. So you need to think to yourself, should I be doing this right now? There is no undo button, gentlemen, no refresh, no, oops, I've made a mistake, let's cover up my tracks.